Yeah. It's that time of the year again where basically everyone is saying they're quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, when you hear this just a few times, you believe it, right? People just need to take a break from the game because, I don't know, it's too fast or it's too expensive or whatever. But when you hear the same thing every single year and there is no, like, drop in attendance, you start asking yourself some questions. Are people really quitting or are they just saying they're quitting? Now, this is not like the only instance of mass quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of wave that we got in the past couple of years, but I want to say this is the first time in several years where I actually believe it. It's quite literally the first time in years where everyone that I keep asking just is telling me that they're not enjoying the game anymore. Oh, and by the way, just in case you didn't know already, out of the 4 YCSs that I played in this format, I topped 3 of them. Funny enough, even though this is my most successful format of all time, it's also one of my most hated of all time. I had to mention that because usually when people do well during a certain format or season, they have a tendency to think that it's a really good format and everything. So they're like positively biased towards it, but there's also like the other way around. So when people don't do well during a certain format, they have a tendency to say that it's a really bad one, and then, you know, they're also negatively biased towards it. But yeah, I'm really being 100% straight up with you guys by saying that I'm just not having fun, period, this format. But anyways, before we move any further, my man, you really gotta smash the like and subscribe button. It's the only way the game can be saved at this point. It's been scientifically proven. Anyways, there are a bunch of reasons why a lot of people are either taking a break from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or just quitting altogether, and the first one is because of our terrible prize system. This is just a fact. I mean, look at games like One Piece or Lorcana. If you even just top those events, you actually make bank, whereas in Yu-Gi-Oh! Even if you win, my bad, but you're still a brokey. Now, I'm not gonna go too in-depth on why the prizing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is bad, but I'll actually make a full video just on that, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, it really is unfortunate that big events just don't have enough incentive because you spend so much money on, you know, hotel, flight, food, everything, gas, maybe if you're driving, that unless you're, you know, winning the whole thing, the return on investment is just so bad. Okay, so now that the prizing is pretty much out of the equation, the only other reason to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be for fun. Now the question is, are you having fun right now? That's not just a rhetorical question, by the way. I'm actually asking you, are you having fun right now? So yeah, please comment down below if you are or not. And yeah, if you are having fun, my man, I don't even know how you do it, but bro, you're a monk. It's really difficult to enjoy a game where pretty much every single deck is just the exact freaking same. What do you mean Yacine, Snake Eyes, Tenpai, Voice, and Purely are all completely different? Yeah, that's what you think. Bro, they're all the same, stop the cap. They all play anywhere between like, what, 12 to 15 hand shops, a bunch of one-card combos, a bunch of ways to recover from interruptions. They're all the freaking same. And all of them have the goal to kill you as quickly as possible, so either by OTKing you or by... And this is what Yu-Gi-Oh has been reduced to, a war of hand shops and one-card combos. You can literally just compare hands with your opponent and pretty much just determine the winner there. The best deck is the deck that can play the most amount of both hand shops and one-card combos and extenders and, you know, cards that allow you to recover from hand shops while playing the least amount of bricks. So it really decreases the amount of potential options at your disposal and makes it so that if you're not playing Snake Eye, then you're basically just playing Yu-Gi-Oh for fun. And the thing is, the OCG already showed us the way and told us pretty much that Farking Snake Eyes and Pure Snake Eyes were about to be the best decks. So there was no surprise factor to begin with, and that's not really what I signed up for. I want excitement with this game every single day. I want the game to continuously change in a positive way, of course, and I feel like this can only really happen if Konami acknowledges our needs and preferences. Because at the current moment, all it really takes for the game to be complete garbage is for one ban list to be bad, and then we're in for like a really rough ride of like 4 months of just not really having fun. Which brings me to my next point, the ban list system is trash. I want fixed ban list dates, okay? I don't want to be told that the next ban list update will be in a few months. That means absolutely nothing, come on. It can range anywhere between 2 to 12 months, and trust me, people get fed up really quickly. The last ban list, for example, unbanned a lot of pretty interesting cards like Colossus, Kirin, and Protoss, which is interesting, but nobody really cares. The real issue is that the top decks retained way too much of their power level to the point where all those interesting decks that got all their cards back are just no longer good enough because they have to compete with some insane decks. There's no problem, I want to say, with like 1 or 2 decks being slightly better than the rest, but when there's like 10 decks that are pretty much identical and are drastically better than everyone else, then there's an issue. I mean, yo, come on, let me play Cyber Dragons, okay? It's been like 5 years. Again, I'm not biased or anything. My solution to this would be to force some consistency in the ban list. They should always happen every 3 months in order to promote the next core set. And they should always guarantee at least 2 bans, 2 unbans, and at least 3 cards in the limited section. Honestly, 7 spots on the ban list looks like the absolute bare minimum for players to be really excited every single time there's a ban list. And because of the fact that we're unbanning as many cards as we're banning, this system should be able to work permanently. By the way, I've already made a bunch of videos on all the banned cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And whether or not they would ruin the game if they were to get unbanned, and to be quite honest with you, a bunch of them are complete trash and they can 100% get unbanned. It's just that they're like iconic cards and, you know, they're nice to look at on the ban list, but they suck. So to sum it up so far, the reasons why people are quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be because 1, the game is, you know, just not really rewarding, the pricing is really bad. 2, because the game is not really enjoyable, it's a little too stale and every deck feels like the same. And 3, because the ban list system is really bad, and if we get unlucky, then we have a really bad format for the next like 4 months. However, there are some more reasons why the game isn't really appealing at the moment. An obvious one would be for my European brothers and sisters out there. The game is pretty much dead over there, there's no YCSs whatsoever, so pretty much no reason to even like deck build during the year. All they really have would be like their opens, which are pretty much big regionals with better pricing, and of course the various nationals and the Euro WCQ, which looks like a lot, but it's really not that much. That's it, that's all they gotta work with all year, and most of it happens at the very end of the year, so it doesn't really count. I've been told that the reason why YCSs are no longer a thing in Europe is because they kind of went over budget last year with all their YCSs, so I guess I can kind of understand why they were taking a break from them at the current moment, but hopefully they will be back to hosting them really soon because it gives a really good image to the game, especially when there's like over 2,000 players attending them every single time. Speaking of which, I actually think we should have more events and more special events as well with exclusive pricing. What I mean by exclusive pricing is pretty much to stop giving us the exact same playmats every single YCS because it's really annoying. I feel like every single YCS should have its own theme and should give out different mats every single time. So that way, every single event will feel special, and the value of the mat will also be much higher, and there will be more incentive to play in that specific YCS. But it doesn't have to just be YCSs, it can be like some new form of events. For example, I want to say they did a pretty good job with their special UDS tournament, and they should be doing more tournaments like that, but maybe a little more open to the public. And yeah, their Black Rose mat is like super insane. It looks amazing, and it sells for like over 5k or something. I know Konami can make the right decisions to make the game good again because they have shown their ability to be able to do so in the past. But what Konami should be doing right now is to look at other card games and try to look at what they're doing better than them. Because I can promise you one thing, it's not because those games have a better gameplay. Everyone agrees on the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the best game to play. There is a lot of complexity in deck building, execution, and everything. It's just like such a better game overall. But there are still a bunch of things that make the game unappealing, unfortunately, both to competitive players and casual players, which prevents the game from thriving. It's the unfortunate reality, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, let me know what you would fix about the game if you could. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Peace.
Ça mène du coup rapidement au deuxième problème qu'elle explique dans sa vidéo, les decks qui profitent du time. Et à outrance, j'ai un ami qui m'a expliqué un petit peu la situation. Lorsque Smith est sorti, le combo est si long que le joueur peut se permettre de jouer littéralement pratiquement les 45 minutes de duel et derrière faire un petit disraé pour burn à la fin du time l'adversaire qui va tout simplement se faire FTK. Il n'a même pas le droit de faire de deuxième game, il ne joue pas. Il perd. C'est un vrai problème que pointe Jessica du doigt. Beaucoup de joueurs de Yu-Gi-Oh! Se plaignent de la règle du time qui est unfair pour la plupart, tout simplement parce que on va s'embêter à se battre contre quelqu'un et en game 3, eh bien, il sait qu'il commence, on va tout simplement perdre parce qu'il aura plus de PV que nous ou qu'il nous en aura enlevé.